Courtside Homeowners again, Lance and Roger on the board, and also Jack, another one of the homeowners. And today we're here with, let me introduce yourself and your company.
My name is Jed Durand. I'm the owner of Elk Mountain Associates. We're a full service general contractor. We've previously done several units in here. We've done two for Roger, numbers 5 and 7. And then number 6 and number 29 in addition that we've done in the past. We do a turnkey operation. You know, I operate with a plumber hired by me, so we can take the whole process. There is a certain amount of wall cutting, floor protection, dust cleanup, that sort of thing that's going to need to take place in addition to having just the plumber come in and do the actual work.
Okay, so basically we're on again on a bottom floor unit. This one just happens to be under a remodel and cut out and already has the newer pipes installed. So the white pipes are those are the good pipes, but we're talking theoretically, and we'll also take a look at an upper level. So from the bottom floor's perspective, you know, what are they going to expect, and where are they going to
your major area of interruption is going to be this closet. This one happens to be drywall. Most of y'all probably still have the paneling. And you can see right here kind of the areas where we would be doing most of the removal are still open here. This area, this area, this area, and, well, you can kind of see a patch right here. This is where your plumbing, which feeds this bathroom and the other bathroom, are running. For people who have the paneling, you know, then it becomes a question of, do you want to have paneling completely removed, or do you want to have access panels in your paneling where you could have access to that in the future if, say, you know, something else were to ever happen, or you wanted to make a change or something like that. So this is going to be the major interruption area of the house. You've also got, on the other side of here, you can see the back of it here, you've got the laundry room. There is part of the laundry room that we have to get into as well, due to getting to the pipes going to the other bathroom. This being a downstairs unit, can we just follow into the kitchen area? One of the more difficult places that we have to get plumbing to is the kitchen sink. At this point, the pipes for the kitchen sink run from somewhere over here over the top of the unit and come down through the chase wall that's kind of behind the cabinets over there, and then come this way into the kitchen sink. Due to not wanting to cut ceilings and make this any harder than it needs to be, for this unit, we can go down through the crawl space and come back up so we don't have to get into that. The corresponding upper unit, we have a different situation. What we've been doing in the past is coming back down with that one through this unit, going through the crawl space, and then coming up. And doing that does make us have to cut into that chase wall a little bit over there so that we can get the upper unit.
Okay, and what about routing through the cabinets in the upper floor?
That doesn't get us over. I mean, you could maybe get to here, but either way, you're gonna have to cut somewhere. You still got to get from here to there.
Okay, and this has been
right. So
we've got this hose here that pipe there that seems to be a mystery.
That was a mystery to us. That's the one we have not done in 7. Remember, Jim?
Yeah, I think that has to do with. I'm not sure when these were modular. I'm not sure how many modular units made one thing. You know, you got to figure they're probably only wide enough that they can fit in a truck. So that very well may be, say this was a unit and this was a unit, that may be the connection point as they assembled these things where they hooked this one to that one.
Okay. So before we get, it may be hard for the viewer to anticipate that. So that's not that much of an issue, but how many cuts in this downstairs ceiling to get to the kitchen are you now talking about?
You're talking about getting to the kitchen of the upstairs unit?
Right. We got to cut the ceiling of the downstairs unit at some point to get to the kitchen of the upstairs unit.
Without cutting any ceiling. our goal is to not cut ceilings. We'd rather cut walls than ceilings. Because a lot of this one, someone has done a really good job of getting all the popcorn and getting it smooth and all that.
Right.
Most of them aren't smooth ceilings, and that's a lot more mess, a lot more dust, a lot more spray as you're patching ceilings. So
it's conceivable that there may be no ceiling cutting, but just wall cutting, and so
wall cutting is our goal.
Okay, so the second floor.
Lower level, right?
Well, or everywhere wall cutting only is our goal, but particularly in the lower levels where it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have ceiling cutting in the upper level. You might be able to get with no ceiling cutting in the lower levels, depending on a few variables. Okay, and then the upper level kitchen might have a little wall cutting in here, but the upper levels are going to have minimal wall cutting. The lower levels are going to have moderate wall cutting, and your biggest inconvenience is going to be the master closet, which you might have to have your stuff out of there for up to, you were saying.
9 days of interruption is what we're looking at. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be men working all day, every day for 9 days. But from when we start, you're looking at 9 consecutive days of people going in and out.
Right. So there might be a heavy day of
stuff packed.
A heavy day of plumbing where they will be there kind of all day. And then other days where you're applying a coat of mud on the seams as you put the sheetrock back together. And that may be, you said, maybe an hour of interruption. During the day, people would, choose to be out working or out of the house during that time maybe, or on vacation.
Right. Yeah, we've done best with these where we have, we use a lockbox, and then my people come in, unlock the door, do what they need to do, and then go on their way. For people who are, stay-at-home workers or people who don't leave in the day, then we can accommodate making appointments, whatever's convenient for people.
I need to interject here, if I may, with a question. All right, we're talking about the upper and the lower unit because of your experience at 6 and 5 of doing both. And what you knew, you had to come in, you had to let the drywall dry after you did everything. However, if you're doing as many as 4 or 6 or 8 in sequence, you could be doing plumbing one day. Your drywall people can be coming in later. Plumbers can go to the 3rd and 4th and 5th units, and the drywall people can come in behind them, and then you're beginning to get together in a way to where it's not like your people are not busy all the time.
True. I mean, we could be
busy on
and that helps us immensely. That would be great. That would be ideal for me. It's not going to change the steady duration for each individual person.
Sure.
It would improve the duration for everybody.
Right.
It wouldn't. If there's 12 people who wanted their places done, it would be much faster to do it like Roger's saying than if we did, say, 9 times 12 day, 108 days for everybody.
And we're talking about the remainder of probably 20 to 25 units that really need to be done. And so, and again, instead of a piecemeal approach, but an organized approach. So you're, because we want the best price. So you're getting, the most effective way to mobilize your people. Their use of time is at a premium, and we're marching through it. And we as the board and the homeowners are helping to accommodate that and working as a community to make that happen. That's the way that we're all going to win with our most effective rate. So again, just to summarize, so for the downstairs units, we can anticipate a moderate amount of wall disruption, cut out sheetrock, new piping with some days of a pretty full day of people in the place. That would be the main plumbing day.
Yep.
Other days with, a few hours, an hour of people coming in doing some work and then leaving for up to possibly 9 days where you're going to have some people coming in under your plan. And then minimal disruption to the ceilings, possibly none.
Hopefully none.
Yeah.
During those 9 days, the day to 2 days of the plumbers, if the plumber doesn't completely finish the first day, you won't be able to have water until the second day. So during those 2 days, we will have the water off to that unit.
Yeah. But maximum 2 days, hopefully so 1 day of water.
Possibly off. One night of, coming home from work and there's no water until the next day.
Well, luckily we're all members of the racket club and there's a locker room. Yeah, so yeah, there'll be some inconvenience, but nothing like if there's a rupture and then you're displaced from your house for weeks for mold remediation and all that.
Right, and that's the thing to look at too, with the needing to do two at once and needing to cut more in the bottom unit to get the top unit. In all reality, if you're a bottom unit owner, it's not your pipes that are going to cause you the most pain if it goes off. It's the ones upstairs. So trying to accommodate your good friend and neighbor upstairs is a good thing to do, because you're saving yourself the hassle. If your pipes go, you're going to have a moldy crawl space, but you know, no big deal.
Yeah.
If his pipes go, you're in trouble.
Yeah. So just before we go to the upper level, let's just go over your take on the initial problem. The main problem in a nutshell with polybutylene pipes, is it if it's going to rupture, when it's going to rupture, catastrophic versus pinhole leaks, you know, the ounce of prevention, pound of cure.
Polybutylene plumbing it's a recalled item. It's something that nobody uses anymore. It was the Betamax of plastic plumbing. They came out with it to replace copper as copper prices got high. And it was a good idea that unfortunately kind of failed miserably. It has inherent problems, mostly in the connections at the fittings. I've seen them go more than anywhere else, but it is prone to dry and crack and fail, you know, within the pipes as well. I think everyone who's, you know, been around here for a while can attest to the quantity of failures that they've had. Yeah. And in the units that we've done, we've seen, you know, a 12-inch piece of PEX here and a 12-inch piece of, sometimes several of them, which, you know, brings evidence that those were all places where it failed and somebody had to have a plumber come in and do a minor fix, which is, you know, solving the problem at hand, but it's not preventing future problems. I mean, conceivably, you could fix this section and then that one could go and then that one could go, and you could be at this forever, you know, every time doing, you know, conceivably thousands of dollars worth of damage. Yep. I mean, just to look in this unit, all this beautiful new wood floor, one pipe leak, and this stuff looks like this, it, you know, it would kill it.
Yeah.
So it's really a thing that's worth doing. You know, if it was my house, I would have every bit of polybutylene out of it as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah,
because it's a time bomb.
I had a house down in Charleston. I was just about to go, and the inspector found, and I was the one that the inspector found polybutylene, and so I was the one that coughed up the huge amount to have it replumbed just so I could make the sale. And that was years ago, and I did all the research. And even by then, the class action suits were all exhausted and closed, and so we left holding the bag.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess because it wasn't a life safety issue, it wasn't like asbestos or something like that, where the lawyers have pushed it on forever and ever. Yeah. It just kind of, it was like, oh, you bought our product and it didn't work. Well, maybe you get some money now. Back in 1990, whatever that was. Right. Yeah,
it's been closed for two decades. It's been exhausted.
There's no remedy to it.
Okay, well, let's pause this and just head over to the upstairs. All right, so we're continuing in an upstairs unit now. Thanks, Jack. And, just to let the upstairs owners know what kind of disruption and cuts to expect and what their life is going to be like.
Okay, well, welcome to an upstairs unit. I think from an upstairs unit, you've got this lovely pipe chase here. We would be cutting out down here so that we can take our pipes coming up from the downstairs, which are coming from over to this side.
But let me interrupt quickly. That's going underneath down in the
crawl space, coming up through the lower unit and then coming up the same pipe chase that's directly below and then getting into this one. So we would have to cut that one out so that we can drill the holes through to the other unit. From there, we'd be coming just as those pipes did around the back here and around the side there to hit the kitchen sink. Those would all be in the cabinet. Should be, other than taking your stuff out of the cabinet, should be minimal interruption there.
And that's how you get to the refrigerator?
Correct. Through this cabinet. You got a cabinet right here, so we can come right around there through the cabinet. We would be in the closet on the other side of here. We've had pretty good luck of not having to get into these rooms unless you want us to do the water heater while we're here. We've done a couple water heaters in the process, in which case we might as well. Here's our favorite paneled closet. You'll note that there already is an access panel right here.
Just happens to be in this unit, right?
Yeah, well, it's pretty common.
Oh, it is, okay.
So some people want to just leave another access panel where we need to get in here with the paneling, or in you know, some of the other ones we've gone through and drywalled this whole room.
Yeah.
Really depends on.
Yeah, for me, for my closet, I would probably just leave the paneling. If you just cut that, if I don't have it already, just cut it and have access in the future if need be, and just screw it back on, and that would be a little cheaper and clear.
That would be a little bit cheaper.
And so that would also and that would be a choice the homeowner could make, because that would also minimize the time that you got to have your stuff out of the closet.
The amount of dust, the general impact on your
yeah. Okay, so that's a variable to think about. Okay.
This one's already been redone. That's nice. Got a nice new shower and valve. Very good.
So would any of your plan cause any breakage or removal of tile, or if you have to drill?
If it's been redone, we shouldn't need to get into the bathroom at all. We should be able to get to this faucet from the back. We should be able to get to that faucet from the back. Everything in here should be able to remain just as it is.
For the upstairs unit, but if you're downstairs, you do have to come up from the crawl space, right?
Yes, because the layout's a little...
Right, but so for the downstairs unit, under your plan, you're coming up from the crawl space, but you drill through existing tile, you would need to disrupt or retile.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't need to, if you have tiled your floor since, we shouldn't need to get into the floors at all. Where we're going into the floors would be within wall cavities, so we may have to remove a vanity, cut the back cut the drywall behind where the vanity hits the wall, and then drill through the bottom plate within the space of the vanity.
Okay.
We wouldn't need to be out in the room.
Right. Just reassuring that existing tile does not have to be disrupted in any way.
We should not be in anyone's tile at all.
Okay. So now we're in the guest bathroom.
Right. So this shower we would be able to deal with from the laundry room side. The toilet, we would have to get in the wall there a little bit. We can fish that one. That one may need some more cutting out where the toilet is, being an upstairs unit. We'd have to be able to get over to at least get up in the sort of the void over here. That one, I think we have to hit from the downstairs. I think that one we have to hit from the downstairs, and I can't remember exactly where it comes up. But it wouldn't be in your tile, and it wouldn't be in their tile.
Right. And so the rate limiting step of the resident getting back to use of their bathroom is really just how long you have to have the water off. One day, maybe into the second day, but it's not the infrastructural stuff. It's not the structural stuff.
Well, I mean, if we need to get like the other bathroom, that's absolutely true. For this bathroom, if we had to cut a hole in the wall behind the toilet, we don't want to have to put the toilet back until the wall is patched.
Okay, all right. So they would have it. They wouldn't be displaced if they're displaced from a bathroom. They would keep a bathroom. The water might be off one day, maybe two. Then they would have full access to one bathroom, maybe delayed access to the second bathroom.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that covers our upstairs as well. All right. Thanks, Jed.